Welcome to Craig Back Zone.
The good clap, not the bad clap, right? No one wants a bad clap.
No, at all. Never. Never. No to the clap.
Okay, guys, welcome to the KD Black Show. This is long in the works.
Yeah,
This has been
absolutely.
long in the works,
Yeah,
right?
good things take time, though.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Good things take time.
Welcome for no one who knows who you are.
Thank you for having
This
me.
is JR. What's
JR!
up? In the crib, in the house, in the
Yeah,
CLT.
well, outside, but in your house, in your pod.
True.
For sure.
So many questions. One of my favorite people to talk to is artists, musicians, producers, however you
Why?
want to. Why? Because I feel like, my medicine as a kid was music.
Okay. As I think a lot of people
Yes.
share that sentiment.
Music is medicine, and I don't have one category that I'm obsessed with. I appreciate all music.
As do I.
Right?
Extremely eclectic.
So before we get into like where you're from and where you grew up, how did you become a musician?
Okay, first of all, good question, You're not gonna be the only one doing the interview in here either. I want to get to
I'm
know
ready.
Candy Black too.
I'm
All
ready.
Bet. You better be. So, it actually started in the church. I actually always been like a more bold of a personality. So, my mom actually told me the story like a little while back. She's like, I'm like, how did I even get in? And I just remember being a young boy like singing solos like at my church, and I'm like maybe 10 years old, right? So the origin of it is like I just walked up to my pastor and I was like, hey, I can sing.
Oh.
and he put me on the spot.
How old do you think you were?
Maybe like, somewhere around 10, 8 to 10,
Okay.
something like that. And so it went from there to then like leading the praise team and like the children's choir, and then like it was a reoccurring thing. Like I would always do like happy birthdays for people, and then like so I was singing before I was rapping, and then I got maybe adolescence, teenage years, and I used to be like really people that know me now or in the past like 20 years would never 20 years. That sounds fucking
Hey.
but it's anybody who probably knows me like 15, 20 years would be like, no way, you didn't have like anger or like, displaced emotion or whatever, because I'm so gathered and I'm so chill, I'm so like whatever, and I've been this way for so long. But when I was a teenager, it got out of hand. I think everybody, as you go through puberty, like you kind of figure out how, like all children, like you figure out how you're going to express yourself. And you're trying to find what way that is. Like
What works.
Yeah, for you. So for me, like it wasn't tantrums. I just always had a mind on my own too. So I was always doing everything all the time, everywhere, whatever. Kind of a bad kid. But
see, what's like your definition of bad? Just like into mischief?
Into mischief, I went to jail a couple times. Mom. Oh, you're all right. I got you. Went to jail a couple times. Mom, wanted to send me to like a boarding school, like that type of thing, like a military school. It's actually Oak Ridge Military Academy.
Okay.
Wasn't having that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just mischief and a little bad. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, things that you don't want to take anything back because it makes you who you are.
Right.
Towering obstacles.
Absolutely.
That's what the name of the EP,
Yes.
just from life and how I've gone from where I was to here. But anyway, long story short, in finding expression and how to deal with emotional displacement, I would write. And like
You're a poet.
Yeah, by nature.
Mhm.
Like, so sun's brightening up for us.
Yeah.
So
As soon as I said poet.
that's the
It
key.
happened.
That's the name of the game. But yeah, anyway, so I would write, and then I felt like whenever I got it out of me onto paper, it was I'm done with it. Like I released it. I never really was moved on any of it.
Uh-huh.
So that just turned into like more songwriting and then singing and rapping. And then as I got older and became more of a man, like I took more of the rapping, but I still infused the two.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, so I always feel like too, like I had to like, I don't know, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've like emotionally gotten younger. Do you connect to that?
As you get older, you emotionally have gotten younger.
Meaning like I felt like I was like
Elaborate.
adult as a kid.
Oh yeah. Always forward thinking. No, I don't really.
Okay.
I think I agree with you in the sense of like you always keep the childhood
Alive.
Yeah, you always keep the youth alive.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But as I've gotten older, I've just gotten more wise. Like I've always been like an old soul. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel you on that. But like it just seems to be more like life is just teaching me more and more, and I'm learning so much more that goes into being a successful adult, a successful parent, a successful leader,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I'm kind of always still growing.
Yes.
It's crazy to say.
That's
but, yeah,
awesome though, because I feel
definitely
like some
still growing.
people don't even like mentally go there,
Most.
right? And I understand that some
unfortunate.
people are like, hey, I've got like 2,500 things to do. Not that like people who mentally go there don't, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just cool to connect to people that
On a
like
different
want to
frequency.
evolve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Evolution. You got to drop weight to elevate.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Sometimes you got to separate yourself, you know what I mean, and realize what is important to you, what is important to what you want out of life.
I agree. So I understand. Fun fact, I just learned a second ago
Yeah.
that you were born in Germany,
Yeah.
but I know you're from Winston-Salem.
Shout out Germany. Shout out Trefo too. But yeah, grew up in Winston. That's home.
So when did you move to Winston?
When I was in kindergarten, actually.
Okay.
So like I went to pre-K and kindergarten in Winston, Kernersville. And yeah, I've been there my whole life. Went to Appalachian State, and then just been moving around. I'm in Charlotte currently, but like I have family and people in Atlanta. I'm in between New York and LA all the time. I'm like just moving around a lot. But Charlotte is home for me right now.
So we were talking a little bit before we hit record. What is your vibe of Charlotte, or like what Charlotte is becoming?
Yeah, I think it's like a city. Like I would say it's a forever blossoming flower. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Just because its growth is really impeccable. The speed at which it's growing, with population and with infrastructure, like the money, the plans that they have, they're not even done.
Right.
Like, I mean, I just think it's growing rapidly. And for the better. Gentrification is definitely a thing, but
Of course, yeah.
that's another podcast.
Or we could, I mean,
Or
we could go there.
We could tap it. It's too deep to dive into, but we could tap
True.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my thing is like everyone, regardless of if you even understand what gentrification is, it's like it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's happening.
Before your eyes.
Yeah.
In different boroughs.
Yes.
Like, and you see it like one moving to the next,
Right.
moving to the next. It's like, damn.
I remember I went to, I don't want to say like a town hall meeting, but some kind of like neighborhood meeting about it. This was like before the pandemic.
Like
And
city council type?
It wasn't city council, but like kind of.
Okay.
So,
What'd
I
you
mean,
find
yeah,
out?
it was just like the people, right?
Neighborhood watch.
Yes.
Got you.
And so they were like, informing me that like there is this system of, people coming to homes of families that have lived there for decades and like having a briefcase with like stacks of money and being like, take this, like, do you want to move out? Like, we'll give you this.
Oh, yeah.
So
Facts.
that was like kind of like,
'Cause
oh my God.
They're going to make times that.
Right.
Like 10 times just for you to
It's like, well, you take
it-
this and leave.
for you to keep it moving.
Right. So it's fucked.
Yeah, the system, the programming,
Mm-hmm.
the force,
Right.
it's all pretty much fucked.
Do you feel like, and I hope you don't mind me asking this, do you feel like you would have gone to jail or like gotten in trouble if like your complexion was lighter?
Oh, nah, I definitely was profiled, especially being back home. Definitely profile was a thing. But, I mean, so I'm not going to say it was all profiling. Like, I
Right.
made some stupid decisions. So
Right.
I was growing up, like, moving too fast, doing things that,
Uh-huh.
Honestly, ultimately are not right.
Right. No, I get it.
You have consequences, repercussions for your, what I'm saying?
Right.
Actions. But, yeah, there's definitely been, like, a handful of times that I've been profiled. Absolutely. I literally, it's like a crazy story. So I was profiled because I had a white Ford Explorer at the time. It was distinguishable, and I got pulled over by this cop who had pulled me over before. Like, he knew me, whatever, so he knows my vehicle. And in the small town of Kernersville, it's like, that's really everybody knows everybody. You know what I mean? So long story short, pulls me over, is looking for contraband, finds nothing, ends up like still leaving me, like handcuffing me, taking me downtown because I had a Tylenol right? And he proceeded to like stretch that to its maximum, take me downtown, go to the magistrate, talk to them. Can't find the pill in the book of controlled substances because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
After I'm released, this is all like a couple hours of a process, but after I'm released, I asked him if he could take me back to my car, and he said no, like he couldn't do that. And this is at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm a teenager, right? So I literally
I
had
think that's
to,
really important that like you say that like you're a child.
I literally had to walk from Winston to Kernersville. So that's more or less like 10 miles, maybe. It was a walk on the highway, all kind of shit. I ended up stopping at my friends and woke them up in the middle of the night.
To explain what happened?
Yeah, and his dad dropped me off maybe the next 3 miles. Yeah. I just was like, fuck, bro, I gotta do something.
And that's awful, you know?
Yeah, that was like one of the main profiling situations.
Where you like really were like, this literally just happened because the way I look.
Yeah. Like he knows exactly who I am.
Right.
He knows there's nothing here.
Right.
Like he knows, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows this and is still gonna go through the motions like just to ruin.
Because he's bored or whatever.
Yeah, just to fuck up my day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to process that, you know?
I mean, it's not George Floyd or anything like that.
But no, it's just it's an example.
It is an example. My personal example. I would rest in peace, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, like all of them. I would Black Lives Matter. I would never like that's
hashtag Black Lives Matter for
Absolutely.
Sure. For sure.
Absolutely. But yeah.
And so what is that, I've talked to other people of color about obviously in real time all this that has gone on in the last, since the country started, but especially since the pandemic and the George Floyd stuff and all that, and Breonna Taylor and everything, Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes.
What is that? Is there any way you can give like, I know this sounds kind of corny, but like white listeners, what is that? Is that like traumatic to see this stuff replayed on television or social media? Or is what is that like?
It is, but it's sad and it's unfortunate because you're almost desensitized. And I think that ultimately is like a part of the agenda, to just continue to have something happen so much and for so long. So The Purge, for example, when that first movie came out, or like Saw or any of that, we saw it and we were like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is too graphic for television. Like, it's crazy. But Saw 2, Saw 3, Purge 2, Purge 3, Purge 4, like it's not, the impact that you feel when you watch it is not the same. You know what I mean? It just kind of wears on you like, oh, this is just someone's way of thought. Like, and I get being open, but there's something wrong with certain ways of thinking. Like, I don't know. But long story short, what I would say to Caucasians, you can't act as if you know, because you really don't. And
what it's like,
right? The oppression is like more than just with the police. Like the oppression is in the economy,
in the system. Right.
The oppression is in the system. The oppression is like you walk down the street and like people may, because you're black, just having on an outfit, they may like make their way around you, which is a subconscious like level of fear.
Right.
You know what I mean? As if you're like not the white person who has on the same outfit that walks right beside them. So like it goes from a small scale to a large scale, but just being open to conversations and dialogue like this to get a better understanding, treating everyone like we are like humans. Like we all bleed red, we put our pants on the same way. Like, we all have the same opportunity in a sense to go out and make something of yourself. Maybe the certain platforms of how to do that may be different, you know what I mean? But you do still have the opportunity to go out and fight for yourself and make a way for yourself. So I think more love, more empathy, just more open-mindedness to trying to understand equality in itself, because it's a struggle to attain that, to be honest.
No, I agree. I think and I've asked this before, is it surprising? Does it feel good that like at least with the Black Lives Matter movement, especially since the pandemic and the George Floyd, that was like hypersensitive? Do you feel like do you finally feel like more than just people that look like you are on your side?
Yes. With anything you like support, feels great.
Yeah.
more than that, support with understanding feels great. That would go back to the empathy, you know. So yeah, it does feel good. It does feel good. I mean, if everyone could kind of unify,
I know,
and, you know, but it's one step. I mean, it's one step into a positive direction, I feel like.
For sure.
But you still have. Actually, I was just talking to a friend earlier, and he was like, "Yeah, sometimes, you know, like life right now, I'm kind of like, there's certain people in my life I'm hitting with, and certain people that I'm missing with, but these are like people that I've kind of been hitting and missing with all along." And I'm like, well, obviously, because there's only one way you can go. You're either gonna hit more or you're gonna miss more. You know what I mean? So it's the same way. Like you got your people who are going to be, like all lives matter, and you know what I'm saying, like that way. It's not just Black lives, and no, this happens to, like, you know, and you're not understanding the oppression and what the cause is even about. But then you do have those that you're speaking about who unify, try to support and understand like what the whole cause
Vibe
is for. Yes, absolutely.
What's interesting, real quick, I saw a post, I believe, by Chuck D, and I think that was right after the hurricanes in Louisiana. The flooding, something like that, and it was like, you know, all these social media things like pray for Louisiana, right? And it's not like, and then he like the meme or the post was not like, it's not pray for everybody like not pray for every state. It's like, this is affecting Louisiana, so that's why we're saying pray for Louisiana, not pray for all states matter. Right? We
know all states matter, bro.
Right. But right now it's affecting
right
Louisiana.
Now they're in turmoil right now.
Right.
You know, Houston was bad out. You know what I mean? Like and I do pray for Louisiana though. I don't know if you guys know anything about the HAARP, but just do your research on that.
Okay.
It's HAARP.
Okay.
It's long story short, it's a lot of control going on.
Okay.
In the world.
Okay, I'll definitely look into it.
Controlling things that you wouldn't even think are controlled.
What's going on? Right.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Now I'm going to move on as I do.
What's up? Keep it moving.
So, keep it moving. We're going to plug that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, before I get into like soulmates, I'm going to do a teaser there. What is your definition of an EP? How is an EP different than a CD? For those that don't know, or I mean,
an album.
Okay, sorry, CD.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
old, but not really. No, right? We're
good.
80s babies, right?
80s babies, absolutely. 90s raised me. Facts.
So, how would you like for even myself? I mean, obviously, I understand EPs are like not as many song titles. Is that essentially what it breaks down to?
Yeah, compact disc is an album is. We'll start from the shorter. You have like singles. You know, people just drop one song, whatever, and that's you push a single for a while, and it just kind of gives someone a vibe, right? Because one single could sound different from the next single,
right?
But it just gives you that energy. You want to maximize that energy. See how people respond to your sound. A demo is if you're trying to be shopped with maybe labels, maybe management companies, like just to kind of demonstrate like your ability. So you may have like three to four songs, 2 to 3, maybe 4 songs on there that kind of all are diversified and like very versatile, showing your skill set. And then you got an EP, which is an extended play of a demo.
Got you.
And then that's more like 5, 6 to maybe like 7, 8. And then you have an LP, which is a long play. And that's an album. And that may be from like 10, 11 to around 15 to 18 maybe. And some people get crazy with it, do 23 songs. And like, you know, Chris Brown, I think he dropped an album with like 45 songs. It's a lot to take in at one time.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, bro, I can. Well, I feel like, you know what sucks is like I feel like our attention span is getting shorter with social
everybody
media.
Everybody got ADD. Like,
everybody. Do you think we just have always
ADD.
had it?
Like, yeah. It's like selective ADD. It's like you will pay attention, even the shit that you want to pay attention to. Like, you'll pay attention to it, but only for like like a period of time.
It's crazy.
But the shit that you don't, that's here and gone. Like, and you might even be there and it's gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the shit you don't care about is the shit you're really not going to pay attention to. But sometimes that be the shit you need to focus on.
So how many songs, give or take, are on EPs usually? Or is there no rules?
7 is the number of completion.
Okay.
And I feel like roughly it's between 5 and 7.
Okay. Okay.
Between 5 and 7 for an EP.
Interesting. So I always like to educate myself, right?
Absolutely. That's the name of the game. That's life.
Right?
That's life.
You know, what is it? Knowledge is power, I told someone the other day.
Nuh-uh.
No.
All right, so
No?
So, nah.
What?
There's two things.
Record stop. What?
So applied knowledge is power.
Okay.
Because you can know everything in the world, but if you don't use what you know, then it's just dormant, like money. Like you got to make money work for you. You got to invest to actually accrue, and if it just sits in the bank, you ain't really doing shit. You're not getting anything else other than what you put in, and actually you got to pay fees on that, so you're getting less than what you put in. You know what I'm saying? So you actually got to make things work. So applied knowledge is power.
Okay.
And then another saying, I guess, is like it's like who you know, but I feel like it's who knows you. Because, like, if I go to the owner of this, if he lives in here, and I'm like, oh, we met at the bar, and I spoke to him, and I go to this door, and I'm like, yeah, I know Mr. Clark or whatever. And Mr. Clark comes down, and he sees me, and he doesn't know me, I'm still not getting in.
I love that. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I vibe.
So, like,
I vibe.
It's like, who knows you? Yeah, who you know, but who knows you?
Right. Okay. I'm gonna let that marinate.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
So, soulmates, do you believe in them?
The question is, I feel like the question should be, do I believe in multiple?
Yes, and I do, because I feel like now I've opened my horizon to, like, there's not just like one soulmate of like a romantic interest.
Right.
There's family soulmates, friend soulmates, work soulmates.
Yeah.
Is that your vibe?
You have soul ties. Like whenever you sleep with someone, like that's a soul tie, right?
Oh no.
No,
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean it happens. Like you have ties to people's ties to people's souls. Like say you're in a relationship with them, any type of relationship. Like we're talking about, like you have friends, mothers. Like relationship, I think has a weird connotation. Like when you say relationship, people think like romantic relationship, but no, relationship is just the word itself. Like it's relationship. And it has many different avenues. So I do agree, and I do, yes, to answer your question, but I also do think that you could have, multiple soulmates.
But
in
like,
different regards.
Do you feel like there's like, and I agree, I totally agree. I think there's multiple soulmates on all different levels. But do you think there's like one like soulmate for you?
Ooh.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's like that one person that you've either met or haven't met yet.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm open to it, to figuring out if, who that might be.
Right.
But I think anything is possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
There's like someone out here for everyone.
Yeah, I
think
think so.
Yeah, for sure.
So, question that I just started asking guests about a month ago. I want to know, especially from a male's perspective,
right?
What is your definition of a hoe?
Ooh.
As the bird chirps.
Right. A hoe to me.
Is a hoe bad? It can be, right?
A hoe can be bad. I feel like a hoe is bad, yes, and because of the components of a hoe, I actually had to think about that for a second. So like, to me, it's a little deeper than just like a guy or a girl, because a hoe is unisex. You know what I mean? Like
right.
A hoe can be a guy or a girl, absolutely. So it's more than just a person who like runs around and sleeps with a bunch of people. I feel like there's a lack of something to be able to like put yourself in that space. Like you have like a lack of like care for yourself, or like care for your body, or care for like where your life might be, or whatever, and you're like looking for something that you can't necessarily provide yourself or find in another means. So you want to find that in being everywhere. Yes. So I just feel like, I guess the deeper meaning of a hoe comes from like why, the why, like the
of like why are you
hoe.
doing that?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I even go back to like my 20s when I was like promiscuous,
And there's a reason, there's a reason. There's always a reason for something. And like sometimes people that I talk to on a regular basis, they may like get a little flustered because they may ask me something and I might not even answer that question, but I respond to them with why. Like, why you ask me that? And like, because it came from somewhere. Like, it definitely came from somewhere.
We are seeing a David. You want to get that? Love it. Love it. Okay. As someone walks by with a porn Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know from a male's perspective, because I guess also too, I feel like males can be promiscuous and don't get the rap that females would.
Oh yeah. I think that just goes to like it being a dominant thing, because like if you like a guy when he has a girl, it's like being able to be let into, you know, or like not like you kind of like a guy fucking a girl is more than like a girl fucking a guy, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
it's
say
like,
that one more time.
Like a guy fucking a girl,
right?
Is to seem like he dominated.
He got like good for him.
Yeah, but the girl is more like she let someone into her. Does this make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I never heard it like that.
So it's like, as a guy, like, and I'm sure women feel the same way too. Like they don't want their partner like everywhere, but if to a female, like her guy is like, oh, he just like he fucked her. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, I don't want to use the word power, but like he, you know, like he dominated that situation, right? Most times, the woman is not going to be the one dominating. She's the one going to be like dominated or allowed entrance, if you will. And as a guy, that's just, I think it's a double standard just because of what it is, but that's like where that may come from too. It's like, I don't want everybody into my home. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And this is supposed to be
like, I basically, but I mean, in some words,
am I making sense?
Yeah, but
making sense?
Well, I'm gonna ask. So, is it basically like? Is it almost like, hey? Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, isn't it like, hey, I can hoe around, but you can't. I'm not speaking like specifically to you. I'm just saying like the males in general. You know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The double standard is exactly that. But I guess I'm looking at the psyche of like why it's looked at that way.
Right. Well, I guess just because of like society stereotypes.
Right, but again, like why? Like where does that come from?
Well, because like your mom, like, you know, I think about like my mom, like I'm a female, like I don't want to think of my mom that way.
Right, but like
that's how I view it.
But
you know
why?
what I mean? That's my mom.
Okay, so why? Like why would you not want to see her viewed that way? Because of what stipulation or stereotype comes with that? Like why do you say I don't want to see my mom as a hoe? Like why do you say that?
Because that's my motherfucking mama.
But you get what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
You have to like dissect it.
Absolutely.
You have to dissect it.
And if you're asking me a real question, I'm gonna give you a real answer all the time. But this is how I think on the regular.
Right.
Though. Like,
so do you think that should people, and this goes like beyond a hoe, I've heard things of like, you know, with all sorority you know what? Let's bring up Jada and Will. I'm going to use that as an example.
Okay.
That, you know what? We've been through it, and we've worked, though, because essentially we have an open relationship.
Yeah, that is.
What do you think of that?
With marriage, I feel like anything within that partnership, that like that's between you guys. If that's okay for you, with you, that's what you guys are good with. And like that, it doesn't matter to who else like feels any type of way about it.
Right, because that
you're not in
business.
that union,
right,
at all. So within that union, whatever you two agree on and come up with that works best for you, like that's you.
Okay, we're gonna go to a commercial break. Hey, welcome back to the Katie Black
Do
Show.
a clap or something. High five each other. Make it loud. Make it loud.
I don't want to hurt her hand.
All right, that's good. All right.
What's up?
Okay, welcome back to the Katie Black Show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, dude. We just went to a commercial break, kind of. One day it'll be a real commercial, but we are in Uptown Charlotte or downtown. I don't know.
Uptown.
What do you call it?
People need to know when they come here. There's the difference. You're in Uptown Charlotte, downtown, wherever else you at.
Interesting. Yeah, because I feel like there's like a weird, not debate, but just it's different, right?
People bring their outside foreign shit into the city.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta know where you at. You gotta kind of like, you gotta adjust and adapt to whatever culture you're into. Like, shit's already going on that way in that space.
Right.
So you gotta respect that. You know what I mean? Just because you call it downtown, wherever else you at, this shit is uptown around here.
Welcome to Charlotte.
Welcome to Charlotte.
Welcome to Charlotte. So
Absolutely.
let's see what avenue we're gonna go down as we literally go down an avenue, or not an avenue, like a street,
No,
right?
yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, so into pop culture, you are the same age pretty much as me.
Yeah.
So who was like your artist or group or band growing up that like you loved?
I can say that one of the ones that mainly, like, when I heard them, well, Nipsey Hussle definitely impacted,
R.I.P.
like, kind of, yeah, showed the blueprint. I was like literally paying attention to him before, like, on the first marathon, on Blue Laces, like everything from the beginning. Growing up, I was listening to him. Tupac, Biggie, of course. Nas. There's a rapper from New York named Cormega.
Okay.
Prodigy, Mobb Deep, Gangstar. But when I heard OUTKAST for the first time, like, my family's from Atlanta, so I was actually in Atlanta like the first time I ever heard them, and like the sound and the unique style that they came with, like, transformed and opened my mind to, like, okay, you can be completely left. Like, the uniqueness has no reign. Like, it just has to be right.
Right.
So, like, hearing them, their lyrical prowess, their ability, and then their styles, it was just like, okay, these motherfuckers are all the way them. You know what I mean?
Just like magic, right?
Yes, it definitely did something to me sonically. Like, opened up my perimeters.
Yeah, me too. Well, I feel like too, I was like, wait a second. I remember in 5th grade singing "Hey Hey, What's That Fuss?" Everybody moves to the back of the bus. And it actually taught me when I went and looked up the song title.
Thank you. This is what I meant.
It
like,
went and taught me. And
the
I'm like,
message.
Yes.
The message.
And you know they got shit for it though at the time.
Yeah, that's cool though. Innovators get shit on the front end.
Yeah.
And then respect on the back.
Right.
You gotta be okay with that.
Who, like, so I know this might be like hard to pick, but do you have like a favorite like civil rights figure that like you enjoyed learning about growing up?
Honestly, all of them, just because it helps me in my knowledge of, like, my culture and, like, so much that we've gone through to get the rights that we do have, that we're still fighting for. But, like, everyone who has played a part has been a pillar. So I just enjoy getting to know everybody who has been a part of, like, this ongoing struggle that we fight still. So, like, everybody.
That's cool.
Everybody.
Very cool. So, on to another recurring question that I ask guests. If you have a close friend and you know for a fact he's being cheated on, do you have that conversation with him, or is that like none of your business?
Like, well, yes. In short, you do have that conversation if you respect and love your mans. You know, because you don't ever want to see anybody that you love or like have a serious relationship with being done wrong, you know. So if you know that he loves her that way and he's giving his all to her and she's not giving her all to him, I mean, that's not your position to ask too many questions. But if you know factual, you got to bring that to the table. It's not your business, but him being your friend is your business.
Interesting. I dig that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, bro, this is what I know. Fact, I wouldn't bring it to you unless I knew for fact. So out of respect for you, just you might want to talk to your girl. You know what I mean? It's that simple.
I like it. So on that other tidbit of like cheating, just Bill Clinton just popped in my head.
Okay, yeah.
So when I was younger, like obviously we're all younger, I was in 5th grade, and my parents got Time magazine subscription, so I went and read the Ken Star Report.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like my first, like basically that taught me like what oral sex was, right?
Got you.
So my thing is Bill's whole thing was like I didn't have sex, so like oral sex isn't sex.
What's the second word in what you just identified?
Sex.
All right.
So you think it is sex?
Yeah, I mean, would your spouse be upset about it?
Yeah.
Okay, are you breaking a commitment that you guys
Yes.
have between you?
Yes.
Okay then.
It's sex.
Yeah. I mean, and like you got to think about, a lot of people I think overthink things. You want to make it what it's not, or like what you don't want it to be. But in the actual title, it's oral sex.
Literally.
Yes, it's sex.
Interesting. David, you good?
Yep.
A form of.
David, do you agree?
Yeah.
He might have been in a conundrum before.
Yeah, right. He's like, I don't want to say. So, on to
Watch
the.
it, yeah.
Are you good?
I just didn't know if you said
Yeah,
that.
no. Gonna go up on some grass, and then there's like some rocks and.
You can come back. Oh,
Wait, maybe you're good. Maybe we'll go on the grass.
anything for the shot.
Do it for the shot. So, want to know? Keep it moving. Tell us about it.
All right, so how many times have we've been able to utilize the phrase just in this interview?
Oh my gosh, I've lost count.
Right. So that in itself is one of the reasons, because it always happens. Like life is always going to continue to go, no matter what happens. If someone else's life stops, everybody else's life is still going to go on. No matter what happens, if you're in a negative space in your life still is going to go on. And that's only a season. Seasons come, seasons go. You just got to have the mindset to just always keep it moving. Like you're never going to be in a situation for a long time. And even if you are, that shit will turn over at some point. And you got to live anyway. So keep it moving. Like, things happen, but you got to keep going to see the brighter side of that thing happening. Towering obstacles goes right into the title of the project.
So it sounds like you're very positive. You always try to look at things with the glass half full.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just because I feel like everything is that way. Like reality you make. The visionaries. I wouldn't say dreamers, but visionaries. You see something without it actually being in an actual form. You bring that to life by manifestation, by doing the works that it takes to get to a certain place. So you can't see all of the negatives. You have to see the positives that you learn from the negatives to help you keep it moving. A lot of people get bogged down by the negatives and then quit before they actually reach. You might be going at something for fucking 5 years, right? And you're like, damn, this shit just ain't opening for me, right? Especially with this music shit. But what if on that 6th year when you decide to quit,
Something pops.
now you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you stop right before. And then it doesn't make sense to me either. Why would you put in so much work and so much time just to quit?
Okay, watch out for that hole.
So yeah, everything, there's a lesson to be learned in everything. And if you take the lesson over the struggle, I think you'll be able to make the best out of everything that does happen to you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Just thinking, even for myself and what I've been doing, so it's I've been doing this for going on 3 years, but I get the vibe.
Why is this gonna go? You know what I'm saying? You gotta put in the groundwork too. You gotta get that legwork popping, reach out, send your demos out, make yourself on their radar. But Vice is gonna call. You're gonna get that.
What's up, dude? And literally, I love the Vice Network. Earlier, I was my goal is to, bring this to television. And you're which network would you be on? I said Vice.
Yeah. You gotta see it to believe it. You gotta claim it.
What network do you think I could be on?
I think you could be on what is it? What is that? It's what is the thing Trevor Noah's on?
Comedy Central.
You could be there. You could be on Vice. You could be. I'm thinking about people that have podcast segments.
Right.
I think, honestly, I don't even know if TV would be the way to go right now, because if you're thinking ahead of the game, everything is digital. So
Well, YouTube.
you would
Why not
probably
YouTube?
you could get some sort of subscription with, or a deal with Netflix, or a deal with
Oh, damn.
Hulu, or a deal with
Interesting.
a partnership
Got
podcast of someone who's
Streaming.
streaming. Everything is streaming anyway, and then that leaves you to more of the business side. You know what I mean? You can kind of control your market. You can control how you're marketing.
Right.
You can control how the parameters of your podcast a little more than having the TV show have all their numbers, have all their people, have all all their hands in your pot. I think with the streaming you would have a little more control. You just got to go through the streaming.
I dig it. Well, y'all heard it first.
Yeah.
For JR, y'all heard it first. What's up?
Watch out for Katie Black show. It's like Charlotte.
Yes!
It's like Charlotte.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's like Charlotte.
Hey, David, I'm going to ask this woman to take a picture of us.
Okay.
Hi, do you mind taking a picture of us?
How you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
And David, get in it too.
Okay.
You want to get closer?
Sure.
You like your own like them?
Yeah, I don't buy
It's just, you know.
Thank you so much.
Here, I'll get those later sent to you. I gotta get it tapping in. Okay, so another thing that we haven't talked about yet, but I found just from doing a little research, is that like you are a model, you were a model.
Yeah, I'm still open to that. Like, so I'm I guess the jack of all trades, for lack of better words. Are we still walking, or do we want to get that?
Just keep walking.
Keep walking. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I do that. I'm open for any opportunity. Honestly, I don't like to limit myself and put myself in a box. I've done it all, and I will currently be able to do it all until I can't. So yeah, I have modeled. I do model. I've been in a couple movies. Shot a couple commercials as an ambassador for a few brands. Marketing management is what we're getting into. Ground up on LLC. Yeah.
Props. So how does that start? How does the modeling start? I hear the stories of someone found me in a mall. Like someone approached me.
Yeah, I wish that was my case.
Right, wasn't.
No, not at all. It's not that it couldn't be. Sorry, it's not my fault. It's not that it couldn't be, but that just wasn't. I didn't catch it that easy. So I just submitted. Like I was always doing things to promote my brand and like making or like taking photo shoots, doing this type of thing. So I'm like, why am I just doing one type of photo shoot? Like I can encompass like many avenues to this. So I started taking headshots. I started doing like building my own portfolio in some of these like photo shoots, and I just started submitting and signing up for little places or whatever, like Model Mayhem. This was like 2012. Just like other places that I can be seen, and then I went to reaching out to talent agencies and modeling agencies and submitting my portfolios. It was just like taking the steps to be noticed.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, props.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you, as a male, obviously you can tell I studied like weird things. You, as a male, do you think you got critiqued like what women models do, like on your body or anything?
Thankfully, no, because I don't know how much research you've done, but like I'm like very big into health and fitness and wellness, all in all.
We got our first talk.
Yeah.
What up?
So I'm very big into like health, wellness, fitness, that type of thing. So I've always been
You've
on top
always
of
been
my
on top
game.
of it.
Yeah, and then I played sports, high school, middle school, collegiate. So it's just always been a way of my life to keep my body up. So.
Yeah, fun fact, since Halloween's tomorrow, I brought some M&Ms for the guys, and JR hopefully will take some.
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude.
What up?
I didn't want to be rude and be like, no, I don't want to accept your gift.
Candy, I know.
Yeah, and like you do this with everybody, and I'm gonna be the one that's like, no, but.
And I hope you don't like. But my thing is like, so you're open about smoking cannabis, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was
Okay.
gonna smoke one as we were walking, but I just felt like
I
that might be a little
know.
much for you guys.
No, I don't care. I love it. The only thing is like with me and cannabis, like I'm the type of person that like I used to not be like this, but if I smoke cannabis, like I can't.
Oh yeah, that's just the way I like to do. I do it all.
I know. Well, but saying that, so my experience with cannabis is I eat a bunch of shit I wouldn't have otherwise if I wouldn't stop.
That's supposed to be good.
So how are you able to stay fit and smoke cannabis?
But that's the thing. So it's been like a way of my life for so long.
It's just like a
Like every day, absolutely. So I could smoke a blunt and go work out. I could smoke a blunt and go to basketball. I could burn one and go to work. I could burn one and go to the studio. I could
It's
burn
just
one.
part of your
anything.
system.
Yeah, that's just.
I guess you could even. That's why I'm like, wait, why is Sweet Rock so fucking thin? I'm jealous.
Well, that's
a different vibe too.
yeah. I don't know if him and Wiz. I think Wiz has like a condition or something.
Okay.
But I don't know about Snoop, and I always did kind of wonder I was fucking something, but I don't know.
Maybe if you just get to a place where you're just not hungry. I don't know. I'm jealous.
I don't know what his remedy is. What?
I know.
I don't even know if that's like a remedy.
Fun fact that I know is like I guess a couple years ago Snoop and his crew were at Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Backstage and set off the fire alarm.
Oh, really? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That checks
Cat
out.
Williams, was telling that joke about how they were backstage or something, like in between a shoot, and he was like, "Come on, Cat, we're gonna go hit some weed." And it was like Snoop and maybe 3 of his friends, and then Cat. It's just like 5 people. But he said he started hitting the first blunt, okay, and then the second blunt, okay, and then he was high as fuck, maybe like 10 minutes in, and just realized that they had all rolled up and he was smoking all the blunts. and that's just how, like, he jokes about that a lot.
That's just how it went.
Yeah.
Okay, well we're here down to the wire. Where can people find you on social media? Where can people find your music?
Anywhere. JAYARRE on any platform that you get your music, any platform that music is held. You just type in my name and everything will come up, and it's JR. And the social handle is at JR, JAYARRE336, represent the Trey. So yeah, JR336 everywhere.
What up? You will have, I've loved this experience.
Yeah, me too. We definitely got to do it again.
Yes.
And we'll double back.
Maybe
sure.
one time, hopefully it'll be in a studio or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I still got a listening session that's coming up for the album. We can come to that.
Absolutely. Okay,
for
cool
sure.
vibes.
No doubt.
Well, thank you so much. This
Thank
is like,
you for having me.
this is my first time
sure.
out and about, dude, doing a show.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yay.
It was fun. It was definitely fun.
Thank you.
Fun.
And
sure.
everyone, check out JR, check out his music, and sign up for my YouTube.
Towering Obstacles, dropping January 13th. All platforms. Keep it moving though throughout your life. That's out now everywhere, all platforms. Katie Black, JR.
What up? What up? And thank you, David, for shooting.
Cameraman David.
What up?
What's up?
We did it. That's it.
Word. Appreciate you.
Yay!
Go.
Okay, let me stop.
Thank you, Katie Black. You're amazing. Thank you, love.
love your energy. Yes, great energy.
What up?